Look, there's a deer in the road up there. Look, there's a deer in the road up there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a deer in the road up there. Way. Carrie here from HomesteadHow. Jen's holding the camera. In today's video, we're going to show you a deer in the road, and we're going to do a tour of our homestead in 2022. We've shown you little bits and pieces of our homestead over our last 6 years as YouTubers, but we've never really shown you the whole thing. So we're going to show you what a working homestead looks like in 2022, show you some of the different businesses we're running. Oh, there's a car coming. All right, we'll go over this way. We're on 20 acres. We're on 20 acres and it's mostly wooded and it's a huge pine forest. We kind of fell in love with the property 6 years ago when we came here because of that. Ooh, look, look, look. There's a big bonus right away. These weren't here last week. I'm gonna get poison oak, poison ivy. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them.
You made jelly a couple years ago with those.
So this was one of the big surprises when we got our homestead. We got it and it was winter time, and then all of a sudden summer, things start revealing themselves, including this huge raspberry patch. But this isn't the only one. On the other end of the property, like 10 acres that way, there's more raspberries, and then there's some over there, and we just saw some by the dog kennel too. This is our big foundation. This was also a surprise to us. Let's walk over there quick. Until after we purchased the property, this was all covered with snow. This is on the front of our property, and the previous owners put in this cement foundation. And I think they had a log cabin up here, and maybe it burned down. If you watch our channel, you'll know that one of my big bucket list items is to create a pioneer-style log cabin. A couple months ago, I showed you a book, and we started making plans, and we started purchasing a bunch of tools, and that's what I was going to do this summer, until I found out I have some pretty bad heart issues still. I've had heart issues my whole life. I've been on medication my entire life, but I've been getting really tired and fainting and like dizzy sort of stuff. So I went back into the doctor. He's changing my medication. I was hoping I'd still be able to do it this year, but I'm still having those issues, and we're still doing some more tests and adjusting things. So this is a huge bucket list item. I still want to do it, but maybe that's going to be next year. Over here, we had our first tiny house we built. Senior and I built that, and Jen. Right, Jen?
Just a little.
You helped. What was that, 5 years ago?
I think so.
We built a tiny house, we put it here, we rented it on Airbnb, it went really good. We got in trouble with the city, they said you can't do that. I don't know why we couldn't do it, so then we ended up selling it. This one's starting to come in, and then all of these are going to come in like a week or two. We're going to have just a ton of berries on this part of the property and others. Let's hop back in the golf cart and we'll show you some more. Are we going to do this in one take with no editing? Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, we actually are. So
we're professional YouTubers now. We have 75,000 subscribers, so we're going to do this in one take with no editing. I crashed my plow truck into the tree the first year I had it. I was a little overzealous coming around the corner. I didn't want to get stuck because my four-wheel drive didn't work. The brakes didn't work either, and I crashed my plow truck right into that tree. And I got a little bit of a whiplash off of it.
I'm having troubles holding the camera still, guys, so if you see it shaking.
Here's our main driveway. Last year, one of our big projects on the homestead was putting in stones. We had about 8 truckloads of stones coming. If you're getting a homestead, you want one way on the back of the property, tucked into the beautiful woods like we have. We're so blessed, we're so fortunate. But we didn't put a lot of thought into the driveway or driveway maintenance. It's a huge expense. We've got a plow truck now, but we get ruts in here. It's really sandy and dirty. There's a big mushroom right there. So that's something to think about if you're getting your homestead. This is, I think in like the 60s, they planted all these trees. They're white pine and red pine, and they're all really getting thick. So we're always out here cutting trees for firewood. Down there's a little fire road that the previous owners cut, and we've got to thin that out too. We've got some trees we've cut down there. This is a really cool trail, so we've got Airbnb guests that'll come, they'll hike this trail. I've got 3 wood chainsaw carving bears that I did back there. Continuing the tour, we're going to show you up here on the right. We've talked about this on the channel before. A few years ago, we built an off-grid dog kennel. It's a 4-run dog kennel. It died down during COVID, but it's going crazy now. I think just like a week ago, we had 4 dogs in the dog kennel. We got another little trail here that I cleared with my tractor the first year we were here. Should we show them that too? We'll show you that in a second after the dog kennel. This is the dog kennel. We made some major upgrades to it. Speaking of major upgrades and home improvements, I wanted to give a little piece of advice, a little piece of wisdom someone gave me a long time ago, and it's about investing in finances. And someone told me this a long time ago. Investing in the stock market is great. Having an IRA is great. Jen and I do that. Every month we put some money into the IRA, into the stock market. But that shouldn't be the only thing you do, and so many people, that's the only thing they do. They just say, well, I'll invest in the stock market. Invest in yourself before you invest in the stock market. We do that every year. Every month, Jen and I go over the finances. We put a little bit into the IRA. But this year, most of that, instead of putting that little bit into the IRA, we're like, no, how can we invest it in ourselves to make more money? Usually that's starting a side business, a side hustle. This very building was with money that would have went into an IRA. And we've put about $5,000 into the building and then maybe another $5,000 afterwards in upgrades. We've got solar panels. This thing's completely off grid. We got really nice kennels in there. We've really updated it and made it nice. We have maybe $10,000 into here. That was 3 or 4 years ago. We've made that $10,000 over and over and over again. Now, if you put $10,000 in the stock market 3 years ago, you're lucky to get maybe 4 or 5%. So think about that. It's a good piece of wisdom someone told me a long time ago, and we've done it over and over and over again. Right now, we've upgraded so many things on our property. It doesn't just have to be a side hustle or a side business too, because some people don't have that entrepreneurial spirit. It could just be invest in yourself. Maybe you take a college course. Maybe you hire a business mentor because you want to learn more about starting your own business. Or maybe you just improve your property. Instead of saying, hey, we got extra $500 to put into the stock market this month into the IRA, take that $500, put it into improving your property. Maybe that's upgrading your kitchen. Maybe you got a really crummy old kitchen and you remodel it, you paint it, or you change out your cabinet faces, and you increase the value of your property significantly. If you go to sell it in 5 years from now, that $500 you put in could turn into $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000. So that's my quick piece of advice for you, and then we'll show you the dog kennel. Invest in yourself first. The stock market isn't the only game out there. We've invested in ourselves over and over and over again. If you watch our channel, you know we have 10 side businesses we're running on our homestead. All of those are profitable. All of those are self-funded with money that we would have put in the stock market or invested otherwise. So let's show you the inside of the dog kennel real quick. That's our solar trailer that was featured on Mother Earth News. We've talked about that on the channel before. This dog kennel is completely off-grid. Hit the button. So now we have full power. We have this Delta EcoMax down here. We've shown that on the channel before. Show that real quick because I'm doing no edits on this. We've got the whole dog kennel plugged into there. Turns on all the lights. We have a huge exhaust fan up there. We even have an air conditioner when it gets really hot in here. We have the 4-stall dog kennel. Today is a very unique day. It's not filled, but we have dogs coming tomorrow.
Tomorrow. We didn't a couple days ago because it was the 4th of July weekend. So we have a couple of coming tomorrow. And then I think we're booked again all next week. So it's been really busy, and this is part of Alyssa's job. Another thing that Carrie was talking about is side businesses. So we have a lot of side business. Each girl has their own side business. So I'm behind the camera. You talk about it, Carrie.
Yeah, Alyssa, one of our triplets, the triplets are all turning 15 this week. Just crazy.
On Saturday.
We've been taking them all out doing their individual days, but Alyssa's job is the dog kennel. She helps with the books, answering emails. She helps with all the stuff, mainly coming out and dealing with the dogs, walking the dogs, giving the dogs all sorts of love and attention, feeding them, and then sometimes too, meeting with the guests when they drop off their dogs or bring them back. 4 dogs in here, we charge $35 per dog per night. So when we have 4 in here, it's about $140. It really adds up. I know it's impolite to talk about money, but I don't care, because if you're thinking about starting a business, it's important to know like where the value is. So last month in July, we made $1,800 on the dog kennel. This is a small operation, but it's $1,800 pure profit because this whole thing is paid off. We don't even have an electricity bill because it's all off-grid. We have solar panels and Delta Max. It's all paid off, so the only overhead is giving Alyssa some money every now and then for her job. But $1,800 in 1 month is pretty darn good for some extra income. And this is just one of 10 of our businesses. Our Airbnb rental does significantly more than that $1,800. Should we show them in the back real quick?
Sure.
A couple other upgrades we did. This is our old solar trailer. This and the solar panels up there
amazing.
Go in here, and they power this entire building. We built this ourselves. We put down the foundation. We paid a company to put the foundation down, and then we built this whole building ourselves. Yeah, it's completely off-grid. The dogs can go inside and outside. And the other cool thing is we got this gigantic solar street light. It's super bright out here. There's no wires. Like, the technology with solar has come so far. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we have little solar lights up there too on the house.
Yep, there's a couple there. And then there's a camera there. We have a full camera system. There's 4 cameras on the dog kennel. So we're always here when we have dogs, but when we go in the house, we don't stay out here all night, obviously. Jen can pull up her phone, or we have it on the TV. We can see all 4 cameras. We can see the dogs inside. If it's summertime, we leave the door open. Not this one, that one. Dogs can go in and dogs can go out, and then when we come out, we let them in the yard, obviously. But we can see them on this camera outside, inside, anywhere, completely off-grid, completely with batteries, completely from the power of the sun. We also have that little Predator generator there. That's just overkill, and we may not even need to use this. Last year we did.
That's more for if we have the
air conditioner
in there. Yeah.
We've got this big exhaust fan, and it's been staying really cool with the cement on the floor. It stays pretty darn cool in there. We haven't had to use that too much. All right, moving right along. That's our dog kennel. So right now we're like at the middle part of our 20-acre property. It's a big rectangle. And now we're going to show you in the corner. If you're loyal watchers of Homestead How, you've seen this before, but we haven't been back here in a while. Oh, we got more raspberries right there. What were those, Jen? Are those choke cherries?
No, those are not choke cherries. Those are just little berries that you're not supposed to eat.
Little poisonous berries that you shouldn't eat. This is a really cool little trail. I mow this out with a lawnmower once a week so guests can go for little hikes throughout the property. It's all wooded back here, so it's really nice, but around the corner we have an interesting little structure. Leave a comment down below real quick if you know what that is, and then I'll tell you in a couple seconds. This is the corner of our property. We used to come back here to do like camping. We have a little fire pit. I'm gonna run Jen right through the brush. I gotta get back here and clear some of these. So we just had Emma and Alyssa were out here.
Oh my.
And they're staining this. This is what, 4 years old?
Yeah.
So leave a comment, I'll tell you what this is. This is our wall tent platform, but it's also just a cool deck. You could come out here, and our Airbnb guests can come out here, sit with some chairs, maybe have a little fire over there, enjoy the weather. We have a shade that goes up there to protect from the sun, but in the winter we put our wall tent up there. It's a 10 by 12 wall tent.
Sorry guys.
I'm gonna have to edit this now. It's a 10 by 12 wall tent. It takes up most of this space, and then you're up off the ground and you can go camping, and we have a wood stove in our wall tent. A little fire pit over here. It's kind of hard to see, but I've got a chainsaw carving in the corner there. The trees are really growing in thick back here. Looks like we have a tree back there that was maybe hit by lightning. I don't remember how to drive this golf cart. We built this wall tent platform before the cost of lumber went through the roof. This is a pretty penny worth of lumber there right now. That's all pressure treated lumber. We let it dry for a year or two, and now we just stained and sealed it. And we've got one more coat to go. Now we got this cool trail. It does a nice loop around our whole property, so you can go on like a mile-long hike if you wanted to, all through the woods. We don't have any neighbors, which is awesome. It's just like hunting land. And then over here to the right, this is our deer fence. A company sent us this a couple years ago. We set this up. We try to garden back here. The dogs will run back here. It's a good little dog run for our dogs and our guests. But a tree fell down, got hit by lightning, and we've got to still fix that. That's big procrastination. Should have done that a long time ago. Over here, we have our awesome fence from QualityLivestockFencing.com, and our chickens are in there with the goats. The goats are coming over to say hi. This steel fencing has been a lifesaver. Look at the chickens up there on the fence.
What are you girls doing?
Let's walk.
What are you girls doing?
They've made their own little roosting area up there.
Hi, girls. These are our babies. Uh-oh. Oh, no. We got the rooster. Oh, boy. Yep. Have fun with him.
Is he going to get me?
Yeah. Have fun with him.
Go. Go.
Hi, beautiful.
Let's see how the garden's doing. I think that cabbage is almost ready. So this is our outdoor garden. We also have an indoor aquaponics garden that I've been managing. Jen has managed all of this, and it looks like your cabbage is ready.
It doesn't look like much in here, guys, but you know what? Our ground is so bad.
Look at this. You grew this.
Oh, wow.
I love cabbage. Cabbage is one of my favorite things. Coleslaw, sauerkraut. Sauerkraut's really good for your gut. But look at these things. These are ready. Like, is it not ready?
Yeah, you can cut it, and then I read, because I never did cabbage before, you cut it at the bottom, you leave all the
Will
leaves,
another one come back?
And then it will grow back. Oh, there was something in here.
Yeah, that rooster that you just saw.
All right, so I actually got some of these plants from a farmer, and they told me, oh, there's another one, but something ate it. They told me that this was actually pumpkin, but now that I'm doing it, it's actually zucchini. Which, this was really nice, but something got in here.
The rooster, Jen. Stop saying something. The rooster was just in here.
Few tomatoes. It's been pretty bad weather, but I've been out here trying to weed it, and there's a couple in there. There's some up here. So,
are these peppers?
No, they're tomatoes.
I wonder how the chickens are getting in here.
Hi.
What are they doing? Our old chickens never did that.
You like this?
Our new chickens are climbers.
I have to cut their wings off. That sounds terrible, but trim their wings. Yeah, see, nothing will go to waste. I could have ate the rest of this, but these are my buddies.
So we have to button up the garden. We just witnessed a goat kicking a chicken. Like, literally, he went like, ugh. Yeah, you.
Yeah, I'll be.
This is our chicken tractor. This thing is really cool. You can move it around the yard. The chickens go in there, they leave your eggs, and they fertilize the grass, and then you move it, and they fertilize the grass, and you move it, and they fertilize the grass, and so on. So this is the main garden area. That's our first chicken coop we ever had. This is the greenhouse that we built a couple of years back. One of the first things we built was that red chicken coop we just drove by. And now over here, this has been the biggest eyesore. We've got Airbnb guests, or if we ever go to sell the property, this whole area here, it's just been all sand. And then there's little tufts of grass. So this is all sand, and then there's little piles of grass everywhere. Well, we picked up this landscape fabric from a company, and I'll leave a link in the description below and on the screen. This stuff was awesome. I've looked at like Home Depot and stuff, and they have like, 3-foot rolls or whatever. This stuff was 15 feet wide. So you can get a big, huge roll, and we have this huge area. So we put this landscape fabric down. I'm sick of the sand. I'm sick of looking at it. You can't grow anything in it. You can't grow grass in it. We're having a huge load of stones dropped here. And then we're going to put a gazebo in the middle with like a little fire pit. But it's going to be like kind of an open canvas. In my imagination, it's going to be like Mr. Miyagi's backyard. Remember when Daniel's son was back there and you had all of the little raised wooden pathways, and you had the rocks, and you had the little koi ponds and things like that? Eventually, I'd like to get there. That's going to be very expensive and take a long time. But we're going to start with a clean slate. We're going to put stones down. We got 3/4 inch washed stones coming. We're going to put a gazebo in the middle, a fire pit, and then after that we're going to take a look and see what looks good. Maybe we'll put a little pond over there. Maybe we'll put a little walkway this way that goes like right to the chicken coop. Just a couple days ago, the girls and I added this fence in. Let's look at this real quick. This is to cover up our little lean-to area. We have all of our shovels and rakes and everything nicely organized, and we're trying to be careful and put those back when we're done, but this was always open and it just looked really bad. And with these little lights on at night, it looks cool. And then we used Jen's X-Tool machine, and we actually engraved this into the wood. I think this will look cooler once we stain it, but this is pressure-treated green board. We need to let this dry a little bit because it's still pretty wet. Once it's dry, we're going to stain it, and maybe Jen will go through with like a paintbrush and make this a little bit darker. But I think it'll pop more once we end up staining it. So we'll give you an update, and we'll show you what this looks like after. This is a work in progress, but this landscape fabric was really, really good. I'm glad I got it. Here's the house, the property. Upstairs there is our Airbnb rental. And that's one of the reasons we keep doing all of these improvements. If we were just a homestead by ourselves, we probably wouldn't worry about this. This is kind of like a cosmetic thing, right? Although I would worry about it because if we ever go to sell the property, we're going to get a lot more money if this is a beautiful gazebo area with a fire pit versus an ugly sand pit with a bunch of tufts of grass sticking up on it. This is our outdoor wood burner. We're getting a pretty good stockpile of wood. We've been splitting wood. Emma's been really helping stack a bunch of the wood. We're getting bigger pieces because we don't have to really split them too much with the outdoor wood burner. We got to get a little more organized over there. Over here we have kayaks and bikes. These are our kayaks and our bikes. However, we do let some guests use the kayaks if they can transport them. There's a really cool lake down the road. Those are the steps that go up to our rental unit, and that provides a significant source of income for us. If I were to purchase a homestead right now, I would not get one unless it was a 2-family or it had the ability to build a second unit, maybe in the basement or the attic or a mother-in-law unit. This has been bringing in $24,000 a year for the last 4 or maybe even 5 years. At least 4 years, 24 grand a year this Airbnb rental brings in. Way more money than we get if we rented it out traditionally, and it's been a lot of fun. People come for the weekend, they check in, they check out. Sometimes we don't even see them, and then we just collect a check. So it's another one of the homestead businesses, but another way, like I said earlier, that we invest in ourselves. We put a lot of money into this that we wouldn't have otherwise to make it a nice unit that people want to stay in. So we're kind of doing a big loop around the property in this tour. I want to show you one other thing real quick. The triplets, Jen and myself, put all of this together last week, and it's over on that side. This, our girls are too big for this, but we wanted something because we have a ton of families that come, and we wanted something for their kids to play on. We just had one little swing over there. This was all from Amazon. It came in 2 boxes. That's a really nice unit. I can't believe they were able to ship it in 2 boxes. You got the 2 swings, you got like that flyer swing. There's the slide, the little fort area, and then there's even monkey bars on the back, and all that came in 2 boxes from Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below in case you're interested. And then I got that really cool solar light up there. I love that thing. You can see it right now. It's charged up. You're like looking, that's a weird spot. You don't get a ton of sun. That is true, but it's got a big panel on it, and it's enough to do the job because you just have someone out here at night very rarely. So it's not like it's running all night every night, and it's been working great. That thing is so bright. I'll show maybe a little clip on the screen of how bright that was. And then the other thing I wanted to show you guys real quick is we got a new gazebo. I'm on a gazebo kick. One of my businesses is doing websites for people, and one of our side businesses that we started because we've had so many gazebos here is I started a website called gazebosbam.com. Kind of a weird name, right? But we post all about different types of gazebos, and we tell companies, hey, if you want to send us your gazebo, I'll do a review, I'll do a bunch of photography and videos for it. This company over here agreed. That's why you see we have a gazebo there, a gazebo there. Well, this is our 3rd gazebo? 4th or 5th gazebo. This was a really cool one I wanted to show you guys on the YouTube channel here. I set this all up myself yesterday, and I was laying on the ground crying for a little while because it was like 95 degrees out and it was so hot, and I should have waited for help. But Jen, let's show them it real quick. One thing, we're gonna move it because we're not on level ground right here. I just set it up here, honestly, because I was under the shade. This thing is really cool. So this is sold on Amazon. I think it's like $300, but it comes with these big heavy posts. I think these are almost 3-inch, 2.5-inch posts, but then they clip together with this system here. Come in closer and show. I really like this. So if I wanted to take this apart, I could clip these out and pull this post out and take them down and take them out. And then they just snap back into place. And then this is just held on with springs, but it's a really heavy system. It comes with anchors and you can put it into the ground, but it's not so complicated. Other gazebos I had, you have to put like 1,000,000 parts up here, and then you got the curtains and they blow in the wind. This is just like really nice shade, but really heavy duty, but easy to put together. Took me maybe 2 hours yesterday. Those are some other big improvements. I want to show you one other thing we did last week. If you watched last week's video, you might have seen this already, but this one is a little sketchy. We got to put together a release form for our Airbnb guests. We added this more for ourselves, but we want our Airbnb guests to be able to enjoy it too. We put up a Zipline. Was it fun?
Yeah.
150-foot zip line, and the girls helped me with it. It was a fun little summer project, the whole family working together. I can show you some clips of them using the zip line, but here is the zip line. Oh, there's the line up there. It's pretty high on this end because I wanted to have a nice incline, and then it goes all the way down that hill, 150 feet. And it goes down a little bit in the middle, but the cable's pretty tight, and then it comes back up and you get a nice fast ride, but it slowly stops at the end. So we'll drive over there real quick and show you where the end of it is. So the zip line's above us right now, and this is right in the middle of our property. We got all these trails. It's really fun in here. It's nice and cool in summertime. Yeah, there's almost the end, and you can see the seat hanging there. So we'll put people on there in the middle and then pull them all the way over to the side and then let them go. And it's a lot of fun. That's kind of it for the tour. We got a bunch of firewood we're collecting over here in the woods. We're trying to thin these out. These are so thick compared to when we moved here 6 years ago. You could see through here when we moved here. You can't anymore. So we got to cut down some of these mature trees to make room for some of the younger trees, and then we use them as firewood, and it's the circle of life. We're not wasting anything or burning through or anything like that. Here's kind of a cool bear. I did that one 2 years ago, I think. I've got a long way to go and I need a lot of practice, but that was sort of a good start to doing a chainsaw carving bear. It looks kind of cool from the back, so you can see his little butt sticking out. I kind of went a little too extreme, I think, on his legs. So we're gonna head back to the house now. That's kind of a tour of our homestead in 2022. You can see we have a lot of projects. We did a ton of projects inside too. We've replaced countertops and sinks and things like that, but that's our working homestead. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys have going on in your homestead? Any big improvements you're doing?